At the start of last season, Wolves replaced Julian Lopetegui with Gary O'Neill, and after a very impressive first season, he managed to get them a 14th place finish and even did the double over the likes of Chelsea and Spurs, and even beat Man City at Wolves. His impressive season at Wolves had, he was appreciated by many pundits and stuff like that. And he even was in for a shout of replacing Gareth Southgate as England manager after his resignation after Euro 2024. But now we're 8 games into the season, and to be honest, Wolves have been awful. Like, they're definitely the worst team in the league, and they sit bottom of the Premier League table. Wolves have lost 7 of their 8 games and only drew 1. They haven't got a win, which means they're only on 1 point out of a possible 24. Now that is really bad form if you want to stay in the Premier League. The pressure is definitely on for Gary O'Neill, and honestly, personally, I don't think it's his fault. I think there's a lot going on at Wolves, and that kind of leads us to the question of today's video. Why are Wolves so bad? But before I jump into this video, of course, as usual, I want to know what you guys think. Are Wolves going down? You guys always have something to say, so I'm sure you're going to have an opinion on this. So are Wolves going down, or do you think they're going to pull off some sort of miracle and manage to stay up another season? So like I said, Wolves haven't won a single game so far this season, drawing once and losing 7. But the problem is that the games that they have been losing, a few of them have been really bad. I mean, let's just take a look at them. They started off the season with a 2-0 loss to Arsenal at Arsenal, which, to be honest, is expected. Like, you have to be pretty good to go to Arsenal and pick up, well, even a point nowadays. But yeah, so that one's kind of excusable. Then at their own ground, they got absolutely pumped by Chelsea 6-2. And to be fair, at halftime it was 2-2, but they just absolutely collapsed in the second half and got absolutely embarrassed. To be fair, their next 4 games after that, though, was a little bit of an improvement. They drew with Forest at Forest, which is impressive. Forest are pretty decent at home, and they narrowly just lost to Newcastle. To be fair, they deserved something from that game, but if you don't take your chances, you won't get a result, will you? But then the next 2 games after that, they lost to Villa at Villa Park, which is, again, you got to be pretty special to beat Villa at Villa Park nowadays. And they lost to Liverpool, which, again, to be fair, is kind of excusable. Liverpool are definitely going to be, I'd say, in the top 3 this season, so not something to get too upset about there. But it was their last game that I want to talk about because it was absolutely awful. Now, as a neutral, I just want to say the game with Brentford was absolutely amazing to watch. But from a Wolves, point of view, it was embarrassing. Again, for the second time this season, they've conceded 5 goals and lost 5-3 to Brentford, who, to be fair, I think they're going to be down there anyway this season. So, I guess you could call them one of Wolves' like bottom of the table kind of contenders, but yeah, you can't be losing to teams like Brentford, who are going to be around you in the table at the end of the season, 5-3. Honestly, I don't think scoring goals is the problem for Wolves. I mean, Cunha's got 3, Aït-Nouri's got a couple, and a new striker, Strand Larsen, is kind of slowly looking like he's going to, settle in and score a few goals this season. But the problem with Wolves is they are conceding a lot of goals. Now, when you take a look at their squad, I think the reason for this is pretty obvious. In the summer, they did sell Pedro Neto to Chelsea for 54 million, but I think the transfer that ruined them more was the transfer of Max Kilman to West Ham for 40 million. Now, don't get me wrong, Max Kilman definitely deserved his move to a bigger club than Wolves because he was very impressive last season. But just from those 2 transfers there, that's £94 million you've got to replace, Wolves have got to replace him. And they just haven't done that. I mean, I said it about Everton playing Ashley Young every week, but when you're Wolves and you're playing Craig Dawson at centre-half every week in 2024, you're kind of just asking for trouble. They also bought Sam Johnston to take the number 1 spot off Jose Sarr, and honestly, I've never rated Johnston personally anyway. I actually do think Jose Sarr is a really good goalkeeper. It's just a shame that he's at Wolves. If he was a better team, he'd be doing much better. But yeah, replacing him with Sam Johnston, I personally think is another mistake. But when you look at Wolves' squad in general, like overall, it's just not very good, and you can kind of understand why they're at the bottom of the table. But to be fair, they did have a very impressive pre-season, and I really didn't expect them to do this bad because, to be fair, during pre-season, Gary O'Neill was cooking. Their next 2 games are Man City and Brighton, and honestly, I can see them losing both these games as well. I can't see Wolves even getting a point between those 6 points. But it's the 2 games after this that I really want to focus on because they've got 2 home games against Crystal Palace and Southampton, who are both, I think, Southampton, one of them's in the bottom 3, one of them's not. But either way, these 2 teams have started awful as well this season. I'm really surprised Crystal Palace are doing that bad, but they're down there. Wolves need to at least get 4 points out of this next 6, because if they don't, they're in serious trouble. I mean, Crystal Palace and Southampton have been awful. Neither of them have won a game like Wolves. So Wolves need to at least get 4 points, because otherwise it's going to be looking really bad. Now, moving on to Gary O'Neill, I do think he's a really good manager, and I think it is a shame he's at Wolves, because if he was at a better club, he'd have more chance to show his ability and how good he is with players. But when you've got a squad like that, and like I said, when you've got a squad with Craig Dawson in centre half every week, you've kind of got no chance. But I guess it is kind of true that you don't really get good jobs just like that, and you do have to work hard in the lower teams to get those better jobs. And I guess, yeah, Gary O'Neill's got to kind of somehow turn this around if he wants to, manage a bigger club in the future. But honestly, I think if Wolves lose the next 4 games that we just spoke about, then I think they're going to be forced to sack him. And I really hope that's not the case, because I really like Gary O'Neill. But as a football team, it's about results. And if you're not getting results, then, man, it's time to get rid, yeah. But hopefully they get some points. Like I said, I really hope he turns it around, because, to be honest, nobody really likes Wolves anyway. And being a Blues fan, who cares about Wolves? But I like Gary O'Neill, and I really hope he turns it around for his own sake. Now, personally, I am going to stick by my prediction that the 3 promoted teams will be the 3 teams that get relegated, and I do think Wolves will have just about enough experience to stay up. But it's going to take a lot. But guys, that is just my opinion, so let me know what you guys think. Will Wolves have enough to turn it round, or are they getting relegated this season? Now, if you guys did like this video, then please do smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel, because we are 26 subs away from our goal of 110 subs before the end of October. Now, I know we've got just 2 weeks to hit that, but with a little push, we might make it. So guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But guys, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I've got a few more videos coming out. Thomas Tuchel has just been appointed as England manager, so we're going to be getting out a video about that at some point. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys stick around, and I promise you won't regret it.